next 60 seconds, the station will conduct a test of the emergency broadcast system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. The broadcasters of your area in voluntary cooperation with the FCC
and other authorities
have developed a system to keep you informed
in the event of an emergency.
If this had been an actual emergency, you would have been instructed where to tune in your area for news and official information. This concludes this test of the emergency broadcast system.
We saw the western coast, I saw the hospital, and there's the shoreline like a wound. Because of lovers' trysts, we're neither clear nor descript. We kept it safe and slow, the quiet things that no one ever knows.
Keep your foot in your heart, keep your feet on the ground.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was brand new. The band Brand New back in about, what was that, 2003-ish, 4-ish? Talking over 20 years ago when I was working at good old Target, which is they call it out like Weston, Arizona. Actually, it's called Target. I worked from Target from 2002 to 2005. There's one for your resume. And no, I won't be showing any receipts for that unless you're hiring me for a job. Anyways, then you'll be entitled to everything, like I said earlier on Lisa B's panel. Just let I go live for a few minutes, so say hello, see who is out there in YouTube land. The reason they call it YouTube, I will continue to reiterate this, is because it's for you to tube. Like the old tube sets, the blue tube. So that's why they called it YouTube. But yes, originally it was a dating platform. Okay, I did a live stream earlier. I did take it down. Boy, has it been a crazy week out here. I've only been out here for a couple of days, and it's been wild. Lisa B was just live for over 7 hours. Been on numerous panels. Ernie Lightning Tigers was on there. A little bit after, again, Kalina was on there. That's the Mean Girls. These are rival groups, I gather. I don't really know a lot about all of their stuff. I tend to stay out of it. How you doing, Darlene? Good morning. Back. Large and in charge. Coming your way right now here. Left at the top of the hour. Depending on what time zone you're in. 3:06 in the AMs here, Eastern time. And here we are. All right, here we are. There you are, and here. So, anyways, just watching some madness on Lisa's a little bit there. Was being restreamed on the Tonic Sales channel. We're going to talk a little bit about some of that, but really I wanted to get into, if you were in my channel earlier, you probably might have missed it because, yes, good morning, Darlene, and everyone out there, because everybody was on Lisa B's or Fox's channel. He was restreaming it, of course, and other stuff as well. Yesterday, Truthfinder emerged on his channel. He was both in the chat and on the panel. I'm not here to tell him how to run their channel. You do it your way. There is no wrong way to eat a Reese's. And if I was to say, well, you can't have that person on your channel or your Discord or whatever, or both, or you can, right? I'm giving you my blessing, my permission, and I'm not here to be anyone's gatekeeper. I would expect the same in return. It's not what I get. Got Biff Thunderbuffin out there screaming about Truthfinder being on my panel or in my server. I believe he was in other channels and servers yesterday, right? That's again, you're not gatekeeping your friends, but you're sure trying to gatekeep me there, buddy. So I gotta call for that. You really cannot have it both ways. Okay. So Truthfinder is this guy that they iced out last year. They is kind of like the shit show crew and people over there. I mean, hell, Truthfinder even took the entire channel down for at least, what was it, a month or more, if my memory serves me right. And then it was recovered. And I'm glad that AC got it recovered. And there's over the false copyright claims or however that was done. Man, I got blamed for a lot of that. People were spreading a bunch of fabricated, it's not even evidence, just outright lies, that I was in cahoots with him, helping him strike everyone's channels down. Naturally, they skipped over the fact that he actually struck my channel early in the game. That's right. He struck Brett the Settlement, nuked that guy's channel. Then he came over to my channel, landed me a strike, and then he retracted that, and then he went on to strike Silver Diamond a couple of times, and then on to others. He got Tonic last year in a video played of him. I know at least of one. one strike. Whether he was able to appeal that and win it, or Truthminder retracted it, or he just wrote it out for 90 days, I don't know. But that's ancient history now. But people are sure quick to bring up ancient history with me. It's amazing. Just amazing. And they will call me out for everything they did themselves, or close, similar to it. Just the same as we're calling out Rebel City, supposedly for showing his Twinkie off. And I'm like, wait a minute here. So some of the very people that are calling him out for that have done that themselves. Am I right? I think I am. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Simple. We don't go anywhere. This is all drama. This is all YouTube bullshit. It starts usually in Discord and it spills over to YouTube. How do I know this? My personal experience. It's happened in my server too. Yes, that's true. I have caught so much crapola from people of stuff that went down in my server last year that doesn't even scratch the surface of what was leaked out on LG's server, of hours, and I mean hours of recordings with from the masses. Okay, these were VCs that had 20 to 30 something people in them at a time. Right, Prime? See, you're not blocked. So anyways, I think you got like a lengthy timeout earlier from a mod because you were doing some doxing in there. And that would be of me. It is what it is, but you weren't blocked. Told you so. I told you. Okay, so anyways, do I hate Prime? Of course I don't hate Prime. But he can be a rather nuisance. Sometimes when he wants to troll, he trolls his way. And it's nice. It's cool. He is a really chill guy, I have found, to get him on your, hang out and just talk casually. I know this because I've done this with him one or two times. The first time I did it was on Late Night Mr. P's. Cindy Renee was in the chat. Teresa R was in there. Roz Khan, many others were in there. And Mr. P, does he even go live anymore? He haven't talked to the guy in a long time. The last time I saw him, he was on Gen X Jeff's. So anyways, I don't know what's going on with the P's, Mr. and Mrs. P. And I do like them. I do like them a lot. I sure do. But and the shit show guys were getting on there, hanging out once upon a time themselves. So they all got along well once. I don't know how they are now. But anyways, I work tomorrow. This afternoon. So if you have to know my schedule to see if Abe works, I've already explained to you that my hours are not 9 to 5, 8 to 4. They're all over the place, all over the map. So it's already tomorrow. Today, it's 3:13 in the morning where I'm at, right here, right now. I will be going in, and thanks for reminding me while I'm trying to enjoy my time before it all starts again, because this is like my Monday now. At 2:00 in the afternoon. See if you can call my boss and hold me accountable for being where I'm supposed to be on time at my job. So anyways, let's see here. Let's talk about Prime. So Prime, I sat and talked to this guy for over an hour, wasn't it? On that guy's channel. If that video's still there, Mr. P vanished from the panel, leaving Prime and I. So it just kind of was what it was. Cindy Renee is an OGer, goes way, way back. And I haven't talked to her in a little while. I've seen her in a chat here and there. I saw her last, whereabouts, unknown now, but I did see her in Jamie's chat. And she also made some appearances on Tommy D's. So anyways, exactly keeping dibs. Hey, nerd, what's up? What prize did I win? I don't know. Is there a door prize here? I might be missing something. I about Dave King 9 Village Idiot News will not return. Say that one 10 times fast, people. I double, triple dog dare you. I mean, he keeps saying I owe him $50. I don't know what for. I keep asking him what for. He keeps saying, you know what? And I said, look, if you can show me, tell me exactly why it is that I owe you $50, you will have it within 5 minutes or less. That I guarantee. So, there it is. There it was. There it shall be. So, let's see. Hebrew's still out there. I saw him tail ending Lisa V's there. Him and the Fox are going back and forth. And they kind of like trolling or same people. So I'm not saying it was a tag team, but there's this Batman guy down in Texas who's apparently his mom was the CEO of some company or something, and that could be. That could be. Not I could be, but it could be. I know of this guy, but I do sub to the dude's channel. He actually blocked me because trolls are going in there running their mouths off about me, spreading lies. So the Batman guy blocked me last year. So I haven't gone back to the guy's channel. He puts on this mask and goes out in public, and personally, I think it's all an act. What isn't? Unless the guy genuinely believes that he's Batman, I don't know. So usually the guy goes live when I'm at work, and I miss it all because he tends to do it later in the day. So that being said, I don't know what else is new with my end. I've talked about the Tyrant Bird guy and Blaine Katie and that side of the shtick of YouTube. I seen Sam Hill was live last night. I just kind of cut the tail end of that. Some of the people from that end of YouTube, the other end of the shtick, or somewhere halfway down the middle of the road. Even Andy Cruz. I do like the guy. I like Sam Hill. I like Andy Cruz. I like lots of these people. Even the Winkler guy. He's kind of in the mix there also. Younger guy. And some of the people from his group. So there's people all around. There's a whole wealth of mouth, little garden variety. I follow many podcasters, and I'm in. If they have a Discord server, you can bet I'm in there. You betcha. They're out there, to be had. There's too many channels and too little time. You can easily get away from the drama and enjoy a good podcast. There's the one guy I've talked about who really intrigues me, Julian Dorian, who was like this Wall Street stockbroker turned big, mega podcaster with like 500,000 subs or darn near close to it. And this guy started out as a little guy, and he actually played his cards right. Perfect timing. He explained how he did it. It was really simple. Because when YouTube started doing the shorts videos, to compete with TikTok, that was how you did your subs early in the game. And for this guy, isn't that amazing? That is something I should have contemplated and did not, just like many of the rest of you out there who strove to be a podcaster, didn't take advantage of, because the algorithm is much different now than when all that began. Not that many years ago, actually. So it is what it is, what it was, what shall be. But he brings all these really interesting people on there. I mean, these are people that were confirmed Black Ops people, military special ops people, Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Marine Force Recon, unlike people like Rick Rude never was. But not even a grunt, right? But these are the kind of CIA operatives, all kinds of awesome people that he's able to bring on his podcast and interview them Um, and that's pretty cool. You're never going to get any of those kind of people on your show if you've only got 1,000 subs. Not even 5,000 subs. It ain't going to happen for you. It's just not going to work. So those are podcasts I enjoy to watch. But that's just one of many, of course. I'm not really big into politics, but there's some podcasters out there that can actually make a dull, boring topic somewhat interesting. They do this. They do this well. So there it is. I see Prime doing his letter skyscraper stacker there. I once had fun with that with guys like Biff and Discord. He's doing it again. Not have fun, knock your socks. There's only 8 of us here. 8's a very lucky number. I believe isn't the Japanese culture or something? I think it means good fortunes, good luck. So 8's great. Not a problem. Not a problem. We've talked about receipts time and time again, showing receipts, people that call you out for showing proof of everything when they have nothing to show for themselves, and then you go and show receipts. Then they either ignore your receipts, or they say they're fake, or they say we need more. That's all done just to pry for more information about you and your personal life. One of the problems I saw with Lisa B was not with her per se, but just you've got the everyone knows who Great Gazoo, Jerry, and Justin is. Justin used to be No Good Reason to Stream, if anyone followed his channel back then. And the problem you can tell there is obviously they put too much information out about their personal lives. And the trolls just eat that up. They eat it up. And it's just, it is what it is. So, once your information is out there, it's out there. That one thing you notice that I never talk about my family, my personal life, for that very reason. I might give you a little free sample, a free sampler. Okay. One such example is when I say, hey, my great grandma used to always say one extreme follows her, and she did. God rest her soul. Do you know who she is? I don't think you do. Do I talk about her personal life that I knew of it? Of course, not here. I've told you a saying or two that one of my grandpa used to say to me. One such one that got twisted, and the words got twisted and tugged, turned completely taken out of context, and the whole spin was thrown on it was when he used to say he would talk about crunchy and smoothie peanut butter, the creamy peanut butter, and he would say the creamy peanut butter is for wimps. Your wimp, he called it quote unquote wimpy peanut butter. That's not him saying that, like I'm a wimp, his grandson. No, of course not. Because I actually ate crunchy peanut butter too. I prefer it over the creamy. So there you go. That's all he was saying. He wasn't saying anything about how disappointed he was. He was very proud of me and his family, as we were and still are with him. Now, that's just a saying that he said. Now, that's all. That's a little story that you've got, okay? But anything beyond that, like what it was like growing up and things we did and whatever, that's stuff that you don't get to know. I just don't talk about it. I don't tell, and I'm not going to, because by doing that, and then one of the reasons I told that's not a tale. That was actually what a saying he used to say. I could tell you so much more about him, but it proved that something as simple as an innocent of a story as that, people took that and they ran with it and they twisted the narrative on that and made it something completely it was not. And that's just what trolls do. I recognize this. I absolutely do. I agree with guys like Authority Check that said, if you don't want stuff being, shared around and put out about you, then simply don't put it out there on the internet. I couldn't agree more with you, dude. Absolutely not. I could not agree more. The psycho obsessions over people on YouTube. It just amazes me. I remember the more recent Beaver coming back, who that's another guy Tyrant Wars was going after a few years or so ago. Was that guy right there? He gets back on YouTube and he just gets obliviated. People just attack him. They don't even know all of his stories. I mean, do they know any of the stories? He went live his own channel and told some of them. That was his prerogative, I think he felt when he was getting attacked on, I don't remember what channel he was on, but he got on a panel and people were just going at him like sharks. And I was just shaking my head at it, going like, there's a warm welcome for a guy who hasn't been around in a while. And more than a minute or two, trust me when I say this, trust me. And I'm like, this is exactly what they did to me. Hell, the people from the shit show or from more of Lisa B's, the people she knows rather, and some of them know me like they did before. It's not like I met them by proxy, okay? Not necessarily. Some yeah, some no. Somewhere in the middle, in the mix. But what I had stated on Ernie's panel was that I got to know them by proxy, which is true, absolutely true. Anyone knows the story from back in old 2020, early at that 2023. Well, it would have been March of 2023. Then when I first got on the panel of a shit show, where when that Tyrant Bird guy got on there and started, trying to go to town with me, and all that shit, and there was like 9 people all just attacking me at once. That was a hell of an experience, let me tell you. I'm pretty sure I've got that one downloaded on my my hard drive if I go dig for it. So anyways, it just doesn't matter now. I got on that channel. I knew about the Drama Dome years before, but I didn't know about the shit show. So that was an interesting experience. I mean, nevertheless, and it was actually kind of cool to watch it. I mean, as it was, because they had large panels back then, with 7, 8, 9, 10 panelists. So they maxed that thing out to the hill. Aside the host, you can have 9 more. That was quite frequent there. It really was. Not to say it won't be again, but things have kind of winded down out here in the drama stuff. So, anyways, Beaver BVR, the guy who got his van set on fire years ago, and things like that. That would be him. So I like the guy. I think he's pretty cool. But there's some people out there that, they're just going to attack this guy over crap that happened years ago. Nobody even cares. Guys like Rada out there, okay? All that guy does is he absorbs elements of a story that he hears from second, third, fourth hand, fifth hand, and then he just regurgitates it. He doesn't vet any of the information that he puts out there. And again, neither does Blame Katie. All right? She just gets clips and shit from people and then just replays them in whatever. I mean, how is that received? I mean, she's sitting there dogging Ernie about emailing her some receipt to show, hounding him to send it to her ASAP. Whatever the hell that was about, I don't know. I don't care. Doesn't even involve me. But I'm like, yeah, you're demanding he sends that to you so you can blast it on your channel in front of your 400-something studio audience, right? And he kind of laid down the law and says, no more Mr. Nice Guy. You'll get it when I'm getting ready. I thought that was kind of comical myself. But you see, if you were watching his panel, then when Nicolino got on there, and they were, they're kind of rivals, right? Did you notice something? Did you notice that they could actually sit and have a actual dialogue? They weren't talking over each other. They were talking to each other. It wasn't like when everyone piles up on Lisa B or wherever. It doesn't matter. Even ACs. I don't care where you guys are at. It's like nobody. I jumped on her panel like 2 different times. I did it last night. And I'm like, listen, do you guys hear yourselves? Do you really hear yourselves? You guys, to us, sound like stadium noise. COVID's, that's another channel that this is all gone down on. You'll get all these guys. You'll get Bird on there. And all hell breaks loose. 303. All these guys get on there. And they just go to town with each other. And it's never anything becomes of it. You know what I mean? Everyone just whips out the big guns, blasts all their ammo off at each other, and when they run out, they just go they just run back and hide in the bushes, or basically the panel ends. They're done. They wear themselves out of yelling and talking over each other, and I'm not even there. Okay, I'm not even there, and I'm watching. I was like, we can't even hear what the hell you guys are trying to say. You're all talking over the top of each other. And when I say y'all, I mean all y'all. There's like all of them are screaming at each other top of their lungs. And it's like they get a rush on this. I get it. It's drama, right? This is all about drama out here. So I'm just shaking my head going, it's literally a football stadium. All we hear is noise. We can't hear a thing you're saying. That Randomly Ash channel, same thing was going on there. The same thing when that went. My God, it doesn't matter where these people go. They're never going to resolve their differences. They don't seem to want to resolve their differences. Best friends become, worst enemies. Then they're back to being friends again. And it just goes back and forth, back and forth. I can't back of it. I wouldn't want to. Okay? I absolutely wouldn't want to. You know what I mean? I mean, gee, God dang. A person's eardrums can only take so much. So as I'm grinding my teeth when all the action's going on, Hebrew Operator went live after Lisa B. I guess because Rick Crude was running his mouth off about him like he does about everybody. I missed all of that. It was the shit show went live after. I don't know the whole sequence of events, but I know it was like Lisa B was live. Then I believe the shit show. And then Hebrew Operator went live. I missed all of it. I didn't see even a minute, a nanosecond of any of that. Why? Because I had to go to bed and get up to work in the morning. I mean, I get it. Work's a little bit more important than this stuff is. Don't get me wrong. If I was independently wealthy, I would probably create my own spin-off social media platform and have a blast. Okay. So anyways, that's about all I had to say. I got it out, but these people are amazed. They just amaze me. They'll sit there and call me out for everything they do. I'll get on panels and they'll sit there and they'll ask me questions after question after question after question, and they won't even begin to let me answer. Not at all. They won't. Hang on. Be right back. Okay. So, so Rebel and Ashley and Lisa's yesterday that said, tell everyone, Abe's not done anything wrong. And you guys are not letting him talk, say one word, and that they weren't. So I was just said, okay, fuck it. I'm just going to talk over everybody. I don't care who you are, because you're not letting me talk. I'm going to talk right over the top of all of you. And I went back and listened to myself, and I was actually piercing over. I was punching right over the top of all these guys. I thought it was great. I ran over AC. I ran over Tonic. I ran over all these guys on the panel. It was hilarious. Anyways, you know, I ran them all over. I didn't want to run them all over. I wanted to engage in an actual normal conversation, if there is such a thing, with all these guys, all of them, including those two. But it just never happens because everyone has to talk over me. So because they talk over me, I talk over them. And then they get angry at me because I'm talking over them. And I'm like, well, you're talking over me. I try to ask Lisa one question, and these guys were not about to let that happen. But I was very adamant. I did not quit. I asked her, I finally was able to get my question out to her, and she actually gave me an answer. So shout out to Lisa. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question. It was a simple question. All I wanted to know from her was if I had been on her channel prior to any of these guys. And she answered, yeah. I was one of her earliest mods. I was not the first mod, but I was like the third mod that she ever had, as I recollect. And I do believe she agreed with me. How do you like them Snapples? So, and then of course, Steph was another one on the panel. So she's like, well, what does it matter? She kept trying to, it just didn't work. And I was like, okay, guys, listen, if you're just going to keep talking over me, to hell with it. All bets are off. I'm going to do it right back to you. So none of these people can bitch me. They can, but they don't have, I was going to say a leg to stand on, but you know, we think of when we say that. Of course, one recruit. So, anyways, I mean, be Jesus. These guys all slay me. They do. But it's just comical. Absolutely comical. Because these people will sit here and scream bloody murder at me. And I don't even do remotely half the stuff these guys do. And I wouldn't want to. Right? I would want to. And it's always we, us, you know, we. Binks was doing that. The one who's got these 2 master degrees. And the one thing I hit on about her was when Tonic sat there and he says, well, you've got 2 master degrees, and you know what? I'm assuming what? Psychology, human behavior, what is it? What are these degrees that she has in? And he's like, well, that qualifies you to like diagnose Abe, right, with a mental condition. And so she responded to him, and I did call him out for this. I did. If you're listening out there, I did. I called you out for that. And I said, well, why did she respond saying it would be unethical for her to answer that question? For her to do that? Probably because A, she's not a psychiatrist, perhaps. And B, if she were, she would know you can't psychoanalyze somebody on YouTube panels. That, my friends, is done in a controlled environment over a extended period of time. Now, when it was a Bedtime Clown who took the credit for that, Huckleberry did it, Rick Crew did it, all making the assertion that I have autism. Okay. What educational credentials, what qualifications are any of these people bringing to the table that be it true? And the answer is nothing. I'd be stunned to know if Recruit even had a high school diploma. Now, to his credit, the Tyrant Birds said, well, I've checked the national database on Tonic and Sales, who apparently I can't find a record of a GED, if you know what that is, a general education diploma, I believe, which are issued by the states. But it depends. It depends. Who has the records? I am a former educator. I am. And I'm here to tell you guys, there is no such thing as a national GED or high school diploma database. It does not exist. If you want to find out if someone has a GED, you have to go through certain means to do that. Specifically, you'll need to know what state that they earned that educational credential in. That would be a starter. Now, in my home state, for example, those records are kept at the regional education offices within the state. So you have to go to whatever regional office that they took and passed and earned their GED in. There's no national database for Illinois where you can look up a GED. Now, I don't have a GED. I have a high school diploma. However, I know people that have gotten GEDs, and I will tell you, that's a hard-ass test to pass. Over 70% of high school grads cannot pass the GED exam, not without studying it for a while. Now, what's that? That's got to be a pretty tough test. It has different sections in it. Like in Illinois, they added the state constitution in their exam, which is something you also require to take in like regular high school. So, I have at least two people in my family that acquired their GEDs. Both of them went on to go to college. One of them is, I believe, already finished with their bachelor's degree in the computer sciences. So there's a little bit of a tidbit of, you can put that down in your UPK notepads about Abe's family. So I'm not going to tell you who they are. So, earning a GED credential is recognized just as a regular diploma is. It actually is. It's not looked upon as beneath it or under it. It would not affect your ability to get accepted in just about any college out there. You can have all the high scores you want in high school. It doesn't mean you're going to get into an Ivy League school. Those are expensive, my friends. FAFSA, student loans are only cover so much of that, right? Right. What's the cost to go to school there a year? Don't know. Don't want to know. So, well, my price league. You better have a rich set of parents if you're going to go there. That's all I got to say. Your part-time job, at wherever, and getting student loans is not even to cover like even a fraction of that tuition. So, and nowadays it doesn't really matter where you go to school. If you go on to go to college or post-secondary, vocational school, whatever you're doing, trying to achieve for yourself in life, as long as you did it and you finished it, you achieved it, it is accredited either nationally or regionally or both, then you're good. You're fine. Most of these vocational programs are accredited through CEUs, continuing education unit points. Certain jobs like medical, police, fire, teachers, locksmiths, even all these different trades and jobs. Someone who's a welder, like bedtime clown, or somebody who is a carpenter or whatever their trade, electrician. It just goes on and on and on and on. Plumber. These people all have to maintain continuing education creds annually. They have to take so many classes to earn so many points to keep their licenses current with the states that they are doing their jobs in. Okay. Even medical doctors have to do that. I seriously doubt YouTube panels would count as like life credits for anything. If it does, God help us all. That's all I say. Like Acme Luniversity, not university. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, I'm a former educator. I've never heard of a national database in education anything. That's a new one to me. If someone out there can show that to me, I'd love to see it. I absolutely love to see it because, like I say, if you want to find my credentials in education, you're going to have to go to the state that I earn those credentials in. That you're not going to go to some. You're not going to go to like colleges.com or whatever the hell. Punch in my name and see if I have credentials anywhere in America or its territories. Those just don't. If there is such a thing out there, those things are a fraud. If they're charging you a fee to use them, they're fraudulent. They're just that's it. There's no. It's wrong. Okay, any state licensing, including educational creds, have to be achieved from the states in which they were earned and achieved. That's it. Period. Bottom line. All right. So, anyways, moving on from that, that topic, which I just killed, I'm glad I did. If it's said on YouTube, it must be true. I've said if you hear the lie, if you believe the lie, and then you repeat the lie, you become the lie. You are the lie. Abso-frickin-lutely. And that's just the way it is. It's the way it goes. Everybody knows. If it's because people say shit all the time, it does not make it true. I mean, hello. This is like, are we in preschool? I mean, have we even reached kindergarten yet here? With this mentality that we're like overall maintaining out here? Is it me? Is there a problem with me? Or is this more of like along lines of perhaps the truth? That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, I turn the thing on. People are very naive. They are. People will run with anything they can. People that were trying to run me off of YouTube 2 or 3 years ago were spreading all these lies about me, and retards like Rod years later pick up on them, and then they throw them out there like it's front page headline news. The ink hasn't even dried on the headliner, on the front page story of the tabloid. And it's like, dude, you can't even get the narrative right. Why don't even try? I don't care how large of an audience you have. If those people are dumb enough to buy into your false narratives, your lies, then that's on them. That's depictive of you and your audience. That's all I have to say. I think more people just watch that guy. They know that like the stuff he spews out there is rubbish anyway. It's full of holes, and they're just looking for some cheap free entertainment like all this other stuff. Right? Exactly. So, you got to laugh at that. But anyways, I'll give you one such example is I got the clip of this thanks to somebody else. Okay. So thanks to somebody else, I didn't even watch this dummy's live stream. And he's sitting there throwing out that this guy over in the UK, known as Rick Productions, used to get on my panel or was on my panel. That guy has never been on my panel, not even once. So what he did is he mistaken that for being on someone else's panel. Okay. And then when I was like, what the hell is going on here? Then I got on that person's panel and said, what the hell is going on here? And then guys like Nava Johnson, we control, were running around and spreading lies that I brought him on the panel. We the People Tyrant Wars did a community tab accusing me of bringing that guy on. That would be Lady Diana's channel, right? Who Queef Control here loves to talk about. He likes to talk about her and emo Hollingwolf and all this old shit, right? All this old shit. So if you're going to talk about Rick Productions, act like you know what you're talking about with that dude, then you should be talking about Carl 92. What was good? What was going on between those two? About 6 or 7 years ago. Okay, because that guy's been around a very long time. Most of you don't even know the story. I was surprised COVID's did. He knew a lot about this, and he talked about it a little bit on his channel. He did. But most of you have no clue who Carl 82 is. And he's not, as far as I know, he's not even around YouTube anymore. I had his channel, but I think he might have hit his channel or maybe even deleted it. I don't know. I have no idea. But there's a lot going on back then. A lot going on back then. If you care to know the history of history, a lot of you recently learned on that Tonic's channel that Blame Katie used to be kind of a regular on that guy's channel. Yeah, she was sitting there trying to troll the guy, chasing clout early in the game, right? Jason Gaudette goes back a ways. So does Andrew. Okay, the Drama Dome guy, Mom Boss Frame. Even Crosswords Corrosive, right? That guy. I could go on, but there's a list of people that go back a ways when drama panels were just barely a thing. Okay, I remember when the auditors used to do panels when they just started out, and some of the people that were getting on there and trolling them, and what have you. One said such person is the guy that was going after Rick Rude, who, before I got blocked on Tyrant Bird's chat, the guy was in there running his mouth talking shit about me, okay, on Bird's chat. And I wasn't even being talked about. But here he is talking shit about me in that guy's chat. I got right in the guy's chat and said, dude, what WTF? Why are you talking shit about me on this dude's channel? I mean, his chat, when I'm not even being talked about. All right, he's talking about the same crap he always talks about, like a broken record. It just never ends. So, and that's the guy who used to go by. Initially, he was called Peanut 411 as trash. Then that's an even longer story. Then he changed his channel name to Rick Crude Was Never a Leo or Marine. Then he changed it to doxing my name and saying Abe was a fake cop and all that stuff, just like Prime does in them. And I hashtagged him recently, and he got all bent out of shape because I played a clip of him, guy known as Sean Smith, out in California, I believe it is. If my memory serves me right. Way back when goddamn, pardon my French, blasphemy, apologize to the Lord, Salty Rant, and all these other guys were out running around. Like, what was it? Garth guy and Felipe Hemming, and was it Johnny 5-0? Was that? Do I have that right? I think it would be him. And then, or no, it wasn't Johnny 5-0. It was what's his name? James Freeman, maybe. And maybe it was Johnny 5-0. And then you had a lot of these guys were just starting. Even Joe Cool was like new to the game way back when. But so FNF Productions, I think he went by, or FNF News or something. That guy. He was out there when Lou got tackled at the border station in California. Where was it? Anyways, it escapes my mind. But anyways, you guys know the story. And this is old, ancient news. If you want to, some of the clips on this stuff are buried on a channel known as Nilla Sweden, NILL Lima, or Lincoln A Adam space Sweden, like the country. Go check out our channel. She hasn't been around in some couple years or so, but she has clips of all of this stuff, all of it. Going back, she was playing clips of Cyrax. Hell, she's got the first panel when Rick Crude got on there trolling Cyrax with the mask on and shit they used to wear. And yes, Tonic, and yes, Shelly, and Cindy Ray, and Swedish Sugar, Teresa Richard. We call her Mother Teresa. But and that's a compliment. That's not an insult, and she knows this. But his old nickname and all these old characters, even Swammy, God rest his soul, videos on him. Yeah, this is old news, guys. Stuff goes way back. But anyways, this guy Ronnie, and he says that's his name. It's not doxing him. He puts these. He turned on his camera on Lisa B's once and was showing his big old scrapbook and had his full name in there and everything. I've got some of those old videos. So whether that's really him or not, I don't know. Say he retired from Cal Fire and all that. So if he did, great. I'm happy for him. But see, he used to get on a lot of these auditors panels and would troll the living hell out of these people, or try to. And that was prior to these drama panels that you know of today. Absolutely, yes, it is. So I used to talk to News Now Omaha. Okay, that's Floyd Wallace. Put his name out there a zillion times. It's publicly known. And I knew him before he even had 3,000 subs. Would look at him today. So, anyways, who else did I know back then? Lots of these guys. Lots of them. So, what was it? Carolina Fort Worth. Boy, she goes back. Sadie Renee's got, or Sadie Renee. Nil Sweden's got videos on her. Absolutely does. So, for anyone out there to say I'm some noob, better guess again, because I'm not a noob. Yes, FTP. There's another guy Tyrant Wars was going after back then. You betcha. You betcha. Oh, I didn't know that. Are you saying he's gone now? I didn't know that. So if that be true, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that. I think that guy had a lot of, shall we say, issues going on in his life. Haven't seen him around in a while. So, but anyways, I remember some of those cop block and cop watch people before those quote unquote those auditors, or call them frauditors, were a thing. I remember this. I do. So the Denver crew, you had Eric Brandt, who's now obviously in prison. Even what's his name covered him pretty well. Merb 34th, that guy, the lawyer out in California. Many others have too. Masshole cover him too. I'm sure she did a time or two. There's another one. Kate goes way back to trolling people like Emo. You betcha. You betcha she did. Sure. I mean, aside Rebel. So I actually talked to her briefly in his chat once. She was trying to get him to let him up on the panel. I've seen her in Emo's chat trying to get his attention, But a lot of these bigger players, as you would call them, like her, they weren't big. They were small potatoes back then. Okay, and there's old videos that if you dig deep enough, if you've got the time to put into it, of a lot of this stuff. There's a lot more to be said, okay, of some of the happenings back then. It's true. I did know Mr. 303 as far back as the year 2012. 2012, I knew who that guy was. So yeah, I've known that guy for a long time. Sure, I have. Absolutely. I was emailing with him back then. Didn't have panels back in 2012. Okay, wasn't like 2016 or 17. They came out with panels through StreamYard, and you could start to do hypercams and shit with the real complicated program, which I guess now does paneling like StreamYard, but I've never messed with it. Streamlabs. Okay. So some of the early on panels that were going on at the time. I remember the Troll Mafia Brigade, I think they were called, or something like that. I think it was Troll Mafia. And then you had people from Boyd when that was becoming a thing. And just all of that trolling going on back then. Okay. And I don't troll. Okay. I do not troll people. Instead, when people start to troll me, I try to use, quote unquote, and I'm not a psychiatrist. Don't take me for what I'm not. Okay. I took my C and see you later in Intro to Psychology, but I was only 2 points away from a low B. Oh, Jesus. But I try to use reverse psychology tactics on people. In other words, I try to throw back at people what they whip out at me. I try to throw it back at them. And yeah, that is tit for tat. Absolutely it is. But why would you not? Why would you just take it? Like if I was GR8 Justin tonight on Lisa's panel, I would have so said fuck this, and I would have left that panel. I would have gone live on my own panel and just started blasting everybody. I felt like that's what I would have done, because when you got that many people just piling on top of you, unless you're prepared to just get into a war of the mics, where who made the best microphone win. The best thing to do is exit stage left, like the Pink Panther. Get the hell out of Dodge City, okay? Before Marshal Matt Dillon and Deputy Festus Hagen come in your way, and then get on your own panel, do your own thing. That's really the best way to go. Now I just got a notification that there's this guy known as the Brad, and he's over in Australia. And this guy, okay, I don't hate this guy. Don't get me wrong. He's actually, I will give this guy, he is very intellectual. He's really a smart guy, but he had fun hanging around all of my arch nemesis enemies, the people that like to talk shit about me. I call them the Abe sayers, okay? The ones that like to get on the internet, run their mouths a million miles a minute, never show a single receipt for anything that they've ever said about me, and they're not about to now. But that's fine. He became friends with them, obviously, to troll me. And then maybe he likes those people. I'm happy for you, sir. Enjoy them. Enjoy their good company. But I haven't seen the guy do a panel for a long time, and I see him doing a couple videos. I try to get his attention in my community tab, and he no bites. So that's fine. I hope he has fun, and I hope you, all of you, in your own special ways. But just remember that just because people get on the internet and they talk a lot of shit about whoever, doesn't make it true. Okay, it does not make it true. And when it comes to quote unquote circumstantial evidence, which I have never seen about me at all, even that per se. Okay, let me ask you guys something. Who's the ultimate authority, if you will, in deciding what is and what is not, quote unquote, circumstantial evidence? So if someone else is giving their circumstantial evidence and then they sit there and discredit my circumstantial evidence, who are they to sit there and call out my circumstantial evidence? The answer is no one. No one. It's just like, I'm sorry, who are you for me to prove myself to? And, I stole that one-liner from Lucinator 69 because he called me out once for doing the same thing. And as much as that, wherever that guy is now, whatever he's got going on or doing, I actually agree with him. I agreed with him then, and I agree with him now. He's absolutely right. Okay, the guy's a troll. He's over in Belgium. Okay. Not in West Germany, like the Tyrant War Channel once got wrong. It says right on the guy's about page that he lives in Belgium. He's over there by Dagmar and what have you. Now, people live in Germany is like Evil Terry or Diana X, or there's the one guy that I forget his name, but he pops in. He's been on Hebrews and other channels. He's definitely German, funny guy, and he comes on, and I haven't seen him around in a while, but then again, I've been around myself a lot. But who out here is the grand authority to decide what evidence is admissible in a court of public opinion, or aka kangaroo court? Forget the pun. Crazy Dingo and all the others that live over in that part of the world. But really, I mean, the answer is simple. No one. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what about you? Well, what about me? I mean, I'm saying everybody. And that includes myself. Yes, it does. I am no one to sit there and tell you that, if you actually have a legitimate piece of evidence to try to present, is credible or not credible. The answer is simple. We cancel each other out in cross multiplication and division. We cancel each other out. All of us cancel each other out because none of us are the ultimate authorities in anything out here. We're just us. Me, myself, and I, all three of us. So, Defend is an Arizona man. So was Spit and Cobra Cop Watch, who was Betsy Peeler's sister, passed away last year. She did. So, and I'll tell you, the one thing I've always said about Betsy Peeler, as much as she disliked me. Okay. She allowed me to get on her panel, and she let me say whatever it is I needed to say or wanted to say. And she did not mute my microphone. She did not throw me in the basement. She didn't play with my microphone settings, and she let me talk. How about that? She let me talk. She could not stand my guts. She despised me. Okay. But she didn't play games with me on the panel. Going back to like Flying Monkey. Okay. She used to say, hey, I'm going to set a timer on here. And if you want to get on my panel, you're more than welcome. But the stipulation, of course, was that I get 3 minutes and then everyone else gets as much time as they want, unlimited. So what these guys obviously would do is they would sit and ramble on for 10, 15, 20 at a time. And then, assuming I was going to get on those panels, which I didn't, of course, knowing the obvious reasons, I get a whopping 3-minute rebuttal. They, on the other hand, can have up to a 30-minute or 3-hour rebuttal. So that's why I had explained to her and explained to everybody else. Now, speaking of her, it's been brought to my attention by multiple people out here that, hey, you knew about what happened to her. Did I? Is that true? Well, going back to a guy I mentioned earlier, Beaver, when he was live, none other than Rick Crude came in there, and he made that announcement in the chat. I still have the screenshot of that. So, of course, I'm not going to consider that a credible source. Of course, I'm not going to go spread it around like a wildfire that be true. Okay? And I'm going to consider the source on that one. And I did. And that's exactly why I never said a word about it until it kept getting brought to, people bring it to my attention. And if that's true, that's unfortunate. You don't see me sitting here making a mockery of it. Black Rose sat there on Silly Whammit, the guy who's a leftover from the Vegas Valleyers, who's buddy with her now, and sat there and started screaming, "You're a son of a bitch, piece of shit bastard, because you demand proof." Black Rose, no. What it is once again, and I know you're watching out there. If you're not, you'll catch this on the replay anyway. Like I told you then, and I'll tell you now, I'm not going to take Rick Crude as a credible source of information. And yes, like people like Bedtime Clown and many others have said, well, you sit there and you preach to us not to take anything he says take it with a grain of salt. That, no, he's not a credible source. That is correct. You're right. And yes, that's why I didn't take him when he said that as a credible source of information. That simple. Now, when she compared, says, well, my cousin had passed away 3 weeks ago or whatever it is she said, 3 months ago, whatever it was. And she said, would you demand, how is that different? Demanding proof. I says, well, that's an apples and oranges comparison, Blackthorn, because that's you talking about someone who's directly related to you. When I'm hearing information that's coming from a source that I have to bring into question every time, and I'm not saying that Rick gets everything wrong, because he doesn't, but he mixes stories up. Okay? He does. And I'm not to say that other people don't do the same thing, because they do. Not just him. But he often tells little tidbits. He has crumbs of the pie, and he acts like he's got the whole freaking thing. Cut me a big slice of that strawberry rhubarb pie, which is one of my favorites, or apple caramel. I'll take that too. Blueberry, lemon meringue pie. But you see where I'm going with this. I'm like, dude, come on. You do tell stories. You get some stuff right, but you get a whole heap of it wrong. And okay. So I can't. I just can't. I can't take that seriously. The reason he was attacking me back in 23 so bad was a couple of different reasons. Probably the biggest one was blaming me for nuking his channel. I didn't nuke his channel. Somebody else did that. 2 or 3 channels that he lost was nothing to do with me. Nothing. But I got the blame. There you go. So, him attacking me, he blamed me for getting him blocked off of a few channels. Okay? That's the channel owners doing that. You need to take it up with them. I don't run their channels. They run their channels. If you don't like it, go to them. So there you go. Spreading lie after lie after lie. He did it. Many others did it. I couldn't tell you guys how many countless hours debunking lie after lie after lie after lie. I mean, these lies got so far-fetched, so crazy. Where to start? Where to start? Why bother? There's my next question. Why bother? It becomes old news. People like to keep it alive because it's all they have to troll with, right? That's right. So you got to consider the source and stuff, and people don't. They see it, they hear it. It pops up in a video someone did, a live stream, a community tab, what the fuck ever, and they just run with it, right? They want to believe it's true. I'm sure they have their doubts if they have half a brain, and we all do, but it takes a little bit of common sense, some street smarts, and kind of breaking down information. I mean, a lot of the problem out here is people are biased already against other people, and then when they see something about somebody else, they just grab it and they roll with it. Rod is a perfect example of that. The perfect storm. He knows very little about me, and he will take anything that anybody has to say and run with it. Naven did the same thing, absolutely same. Threw out his own lies. Sure, he did, absolutely. And there's certain people you come to expect that with. You betcha. So while I sat and watched myself sit there and debunk lie after lie after lie, and I spent all this time debunking all of this shit, it brought me to the present day. Okay, zipping along, we're doing the time warp. Let's do the time warp again. So we do the time warp from 2022 to 2025. Okay, 3 years later, or somewhere thereabouts. And now, when people come at me with the same bullshit, or they start spreading some new bullshit, then I just go to them and I say, hey, you got receipts for that? And it's like snake eyes. Deer in the headlights look, So you're saying, wait a minute. Just a minute. Back the train up. Back it up. I'm sorry. You want me to prove what you're saying about me to be untrue? And that brought me to the conclusion of this. You're the one spreading lies about me, and therefore you need to prove it. That simple. Okay, so it's up to the accuser to prove the accused. And here's the other debacle. The person that decides whether they have achieved that beyond any reason of doubt is either A, judge in a bench trial, or B, the jury. Or if the jury's tainted, it'll be the backup jury. Okay? There's 2 juries in every courtroom. In case the first jury gets dismissed, you have backup jury. But none of this holds any weight unless you're in a court of law. This is not a court of law. This is the court of public opinion. All right? So with that in mind, I'm sorry. Who decides whether someone is guilty or innocent? Who decides if it is a hung jury? All right? Nobody. So this is why we wind up in these bullshit social media platforms like this, right? And nothing ever gets resolved. Nothing gets done. Nothing gets achieved. And like I say, people more often than not don't want it to. Okay, they are about drama, and that's the way it is. So, anytime anybody comes to me, I'm going to go back to them and I'm going to say, "I'm sorry, you got some proof?" It's easy. It's easier to get out here and just throw shit out on a limb. Shoot from the hip, see what's going to stick, and rather than actually showing, don't laugh too hard, actual factual facts, proof. And then the other problem we get into is, once again, who decides what evidence is evidence and what is not? Okay, nobody is. This is a very untamed, uncharted territory. Social media has had this ongoing problem for over 3 decades, going back to the 90s. AOL chat rooms, whatever. You want to go back further than that? Go back to BBSs and all that other shit. Even in the 80s. But the fact of it is that the burden of proof is on at the end of the day, the burden of proof is on the person who made the claim. I can get on here and say whatever I want about whoever I want. It does not make it a truth. Okay, we all know this. We all know this. So that's just how it is. Okay? Call me crazy. You call me whatever you want. I don't care. I just don't care. Because I'm a realist. Okay? I follow the truth. Wherever that leads. Even if that paints me in a bad light. I'm not about half truth. Where you tell part of the full story, but not the rest of the story. Paul Harvey would once say. Because eventually the truth will come out. And it'll come and bite me in the ass. It'll hit me like a brick, like crash dummies slamming into a brick wall. No matter what the damage, the outcome is going to be very, very bad. Because when crash dummies were first used, there were no such thing as airbags. Ouch. My first car didn't have airbags. So anyways, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. So where does this leave us? I don't know. If I had the answers, I think we would prevent global wars. We would, we could save the stock market from crashing before the end of the next commercial. We'd have all of the politics, the civil unrest, global and intergalactic affairs, like on Star Trek and Star Wars. Hey, if George Lucas made a film on it, now owned by Disney, it's going to come. It's about to come true one of these days, or chances are we've already been there and done that. We just don't know about it yet. But Big Brother is keeping a secret from us. It's a secret. But I don't know. I will not be on this platform probably for the rest of the week now. The next time I get back on this thing is probably going to be like the weekend or somewhere thereabouts, something like that. I typically only get on here on my off days. And that's just how it is. Just the way it goes. So, I work. I like the trolls in UPK, like the GD and I Could Be. They like to tag team, repeating the same one-liners over and over and over again, which is what Prime does, which is what Queef here does, which is what Naven often does, which is what Recruit will do. All these guys, all these people, they just like to repeat the same one. Even Tonic does it. You doing Ollie yet? You know, all these guys do this. Okay, it's what they do. It's a troll tactic. And now you'll start to hear me sit there and say, okay, well, this has been the same rolling troll for the last umpteen years. Here we are in 2025, still doing it. Try something different. Try something new. I did this with Prime quite a bit. And I finally dropped the bombshell on him. I said, okay, listen, you asked for it. I know this hits a nail with you. And but I'm the sledgehammer. So better buckle in, because I'm going to tell you what, we are in for a hell of a demolition derby. So I threw at him. I says, fine. Less is more, Prime. Less is more. He hates that. He absolutely hates that. And I get why it bothers him, because it's constantly what people have been throwing at him whenever he gets on a panel. And much the same as I get sick of hearing the same shit over and over and over again. So does he. Okay, he's human too. Love or hate the guy, he's a person too. And he gets tired of hearing the same shit over and over again. But then again, he does that himself. So, anyways, I'm going to end this thing in a couple of minutes and go get the hay. What the hay? Or in high school, there's this one kid that would go, hey, hey, smoking on hay. Anyways. I wonder what that kid's doing now that he's my age. Probably got gray hairs already starting like me. Damn. Us 80s and 90s gens. I was kind of like the tail end of Gen X and right before Gen Y. You might call me a Zennial with an X, not a Z. A Zennial. In other words, it's like someone who's like wedged between Gen X and millennials. We grew up without technology, like you see it, digital technology. We had everything analog. Passing notes in class, to drinking water out of a garden hose, surviving that. Not flying out of the back of the station wagon because there was no child safety windows where road goes down about halfway and stuff. All the dishes. We knew when it was time to head back home pronto. Whenever the street light would turn on at dusk, that was your alarm clock to get your ass back home, or your ass was grass and your folks were the lawnmower. Your parents would give you quite a talking and maybe get grounded for a week or two. But we're the generation that doesn't really doesn't take personal offense to everything. So times have really changed. I remember the helicopter parents generation. That was really interesting. We had soccer moms, soccer dads, and shit like that. God, and the minivans. Remember those? The minivans? Oh, this is stuff I love talking about. What was life like growing up without YouTube, without Facebook, and all this other shit? Did Conan O'Brien predict it back in 2009 when he said in the year 3000 YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook would merge to become a super time wasting machine known as UTwitface? That was pretty funny. That was epic. But I'll tell you what. I'll put that clip in my community tab. I'll go grab it tonight before I go to bed. But yeah, it's all in good fun. But social media can be very dangerous too, and especially for young, sensitive minds that are just learning and developing. And I've talked about this before. Lots of us have, and I think AI can be a very dangerous thing. It's like it's trying to tell us how we need to think and what we need to do. And then we could become dependent on AI to, many parts of our lives. And I grew up without that technology. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I wouldn't want any part of this shit, growing up at all. No, I don't even want it as I'm grown up now. I want no part of this stuff. But here we are. Here we are together. We're all stuck in this. It's like getting sucked down the rabbit hole, It's like another dimension. It is. Dun dun dun. The Twilight Zone. Dun, 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 dun. So there you go. Okay, it's a psyop. Very good. But anyways, I have a problem with artificial intelligence starting to take over jobs. I think that how I grew up before any of this began, I think the world was a better place. I think the internet has allowed us to connect to other crazy people other than ourselves. I think that's done some good, but it's also done a lot of bad. And the era of the lockdowns was very, very bad. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Keeping families cooped up in their houses 24/7. Domestic violence was on the rise. I'm sure that didn't help the divorce rate any. Let me tell you. We're not meant to be cooped up in our houses all day long, right? We are meant to get out, move about. Just like it's easier to walk around than it is to stand still, believe it or not. Did you know that? If you stand still, go ahead and try it. Try to stand still for about 2 minutes versus walking around, okay? And see which is easier to do. And then get back to me. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. We are moving machines, all right? We're bulldozers. We're biological bulldozers. If I can talk right tonight. We are. We absolutely are. Just the same as I don't think we're meant to sit on the internet 24/7. And if you're doing that, then I feel bad. I feel sorry for you. For people out there that are on the internet 24/7, there's no way that can possibly be healthy, physically or mentally. I wouldn't think, But who am I to say, right? I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I get out there, get some fresh air, go stargazing. Right, it's dark out. Hey, are you up? Go out there, get your bit. Go look at some. Maybe you'll see a shooting star. Maybe you'll see a meteorite. Maybe you'll capture that on camera or picture of it. I don't know. Maybe not. I've done that. There's life going on out there, guys. Get out there and do it. This reminds me of the ending scene of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? When he's kind of like shoo. That's why I kind of mimic that. So this is YouTube, okay? Who cares? Do you care? I don't care. Should I care? Should you care? Should we care? Are we people who care? So, good God, people are just way too vested in this shit. Way too vested. And stop. If you're one out there who likes to just throw out everything about your personal life on here to a bunch of stickers that are known trolls, something wrong with you. Okay? Yeah. Don't out your personal information and life stories to trolls. Take it in moderation. So anyways, that job I did at the university, I wound up getting trolled over it longer than I actually did the job for. How crazy is that? I ask, how insane is that? Good God, Joe. People got so psycho-obsessed over that. So, yeah, I really did do that. That was a job I did. Yes, it absolutely was. Yes, it was. Prove me wrong. Okay? but becoming obsessed over what someone did for a living, a job, the odds of you ever meeting that person in person, slim to none. Probably never going to happen. But I mean, seriously, this is so stupid. It's funny. I only did that job for like 2 years. And I've been getting trolled over it for about three, ever since it got put out there by somebody else other than me. So I love the people out there. Rada does this. He says, well, I don't have to prove a veteran. Why don't you have to prove you're a veteran? Well, because I'm not the one that put that information out there. Oh, okay. Well, you have said you said you were. So using your same logic, if there is illogic against me, sounds better, about par for the course. Guess what, Spud? Somebody else put that information out, excuse me, out there about me. Yes, they did. So by your same illogic, then just like you don't have to prove anything about yourself, then guess what? Wait for it. I don't have to prove anything about myself either. There you go. How about that? Even so, I don't think people on the internet are people I have to prove myself to. Thank you very much. It's hilarious. No, that's incorrect. I've discussed this over and over and over again, and I'm done with it. The story has never. This is how you can tell if someone's lying or telling the truth. You really want to know? Number one, when people get on here and they say, "I know for fact," or they say, "the fact is," unless you're a Sherlock Holmes or a Dick Tracy or a Columbo out there, then I'm sorry, that's a pretty good telltale sign that's not the truth. And you're trying to get confirmation bias of other people, or they're simply trying to get you to admit that what they're saying is true. And they have nothing to go by other than their words. They're slanderous, insinuating words, which are already biased anyway from the get-go. Before they even opened their mouth, said one word to you, they were already biased against you. So you're never going to win one up on them as far as that's concerned. If you're going to try to change their mind, you're going to try to change the world? I don't think so. It's not going to happen for you. It's not going to happen for me either. I'm not here to change the world. Are you? I'm not a narcissist. Well, that's another way overused word out here. Did you know less than like 0.04% or something? Less than 1% of the world's population are narcissists. But for some reason, everybody on here is a narcissist. You don't like, you don't agree with. That's not necessary. No. Okay, no, wrong again. So I remember that from my intro to psychology class from over 20 years ago. Even though I took my C and see you later, I remember that in the book. It said right in there, less than like 0.04% of the world's population as of 20 years ago or so. But what 2002 or 2001 when I took this class? Or actually, it was longer than that. It was 2000. Because I started college right away after high school. So what, 25 years ago, less than a quarter of a percent of the world's population were actually diagnosed, confirmed by actual, factual, licensed, practicing psychiatrists to be narcissists. Okay, not a bunch of retards on the internet, on YouTube, that are pseudo wannabe psychiatrists. Much the same as when Binks made the remark that it would be unethical for me to make comments about Honest Abe and his mental health. the reason she said that is because she knew I was going to clip that. I did clip that out of there, by the way. I clipped her saying that, and it's the perfect. The perfect clip. I haven't put it out there. It's on Tonic's live stream from yesterday. But like I say, you can have all the master degrees in the world you want, but it doesn't make you a psychiatrist. No. And even if you have one, if you had a PhD, and everything to go along with it, you can't psychoanalyze somebody on YouTube panels or chats, either one of them. And if Binks has the education credentials that she supposedly has at, again, the master level, then she knows this already, as anyone else in anywhere near that plateau. Is you cannot diagnose somebody on the internet. Doesn't work that way. Actually, people with autism can take years to diagnose, fully diagnose them with wherever those people are on the spectrum. And that's with multiple psychiatrists, specialists that deal with that. So people on YouTube, I don't think fit in that plateau. I'm sorry. I am talking about Binks. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Thank you very much. Excuse me, may I have another? So yeah, I'm sorry. Even Nicolina had said on Hebrew Operators once. Well, yeah, I mean, when she told him, well, yeah, you bring up all these people on the panel, and all they do is pile on Abe. That's all those people were doing on his channel and many other channels. Same thing. Yeah, when you get a bunch of people that are dogpiling, that are gaslighting, doing a little bit of both, then yeah, of course. Hello, anybody home? What's going on, nerd? So I'm just rehashing some truth. That's all. So she recognized it. She's not a psychiatrist. No, he's a psychiatrist. So, anyways, like I say, I always laugh at people that imply that. Rick Crew diagnosed me with a condition yet again the other day, is a condition known as, quote unquote, fucked up in the head. Just for shits and grins, spinning for my own personal amusement and entertainment purposes only, I went and I found some very credible medical thesauruses and dictionaries online. You have to be a medical knowledgeable person. I don't have to be a med pro to go on the internet and punch in whatever condition you think I have and look it up. And much to my surprise, demise, there was no such medical term known as fucked up in the head. There was nothing there. I checked multiple. I even tried Google Scholar looking for this information. And again, surprise, nothing there. So I would say that the people that call me autistic must speak from some real life experience, right? Grief control? Right. So anyways, that's a rolling troll. It started with a small handful of individuals. It was BTC, Flying Monkey did it, Huckleberry and Rick Crew did it, and it stayed pretty isolated there. And then once it got known, probably people looking at chat replays or what the fuck ever, it started to spread on all these other areas of YouTube. So, as a former licensed educator, because my license expired, I changed line. I changed the work. My entire line of work did something completely different. Before all the rumors start spreading, oh, Abe had his license revoked. Oh, it was terminated. Oh, he did some bad things. I could go renew that credential anytime I fucking feel like it or want to. So as a former licensed educator, I will tell you that people on the internet are not qualified to diagnose anyone with anything, not even a paper cut. Isn't that something? And it's very true. Yeah, you're not qualified to diagnose anyone with anything on the internet. It's all part of a LARP, a troll. And thanks to my life getting busier than ever and not having much time to waste on this platform, I don't have to hear it. You can't time me out with your magical blue wrench. You can talk all the shit you want about wherever you want, and 9 times out of 10 now, I'm not even around to hear it, and I don't care. I turn this bitch off, and I don't look back. I could pull the plug on this thing right now and just skip it for the next 2 years. I did it once before, and I'll do it again. That I guarantee. And am I going to get on here and say, happy trails to you until we don't meet again? No, probably not. I mean, hell, I didn't back then. Why would I now? And the answer is, I won't. So when I decide to vamos from this thing, for whether it be at 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, whatever it is, I can rest assured none of y'all going to know a thing about it. I'm not going to tell you about it. You're not going to get any kind of hint or warning that Honest Abe is going poof, disappeared into thin air without a trace. It's just going to happen when it happens. All right? That's just the way it goes. That's the way I am. I'm very unpredictable like that online. So there it is. So, I like that comment. This Patriot Defense. He says, at over 60 years, I think of being alive, I can diagnose these people as being fucked up and then add in the head like Rick Crew does. So, yeah, it's all part of hate bonding 101. And when these guys have nothing to go with, all they do is regurgitate the same bullshit that they've picked up on from everybody else. This is what they do. Here's Nerd saying, maybe you'll get a new condition named after you. Why is that? I gotta fix that. Yeah, I'm on my phone. So, there we go. Doink. There. Actually, that one's kind of cool too. What do you think about? Oh, okay, that's not too bad. Doink. Doink. This is more noticed. You can actually. That's better because you can. Here's like the minimal one right there. That's not too bad, right? That's not bad right there. I'll take that. All right. Like I don't like that one. That one's pretty cool because you can actually like see the whole thing. Maybe we'll stick with that for now. Anyways, so get rid of that. Most of these features are the same damn features that were on StreamYard when it first started. There's some new things on here, but like half of it is the paid version. And I guess I'm too cheap to get the paid version. I've had it before. And I just can't justify it. So there's something called Demo Scene 1 and 2. So, okay. Otherwise, I don't really see a lot of new shit on here as far as features go. It's like the same damn stuff that was on here when I first knew about StreamYard. It's on here now. Is on same glitches where your avatar just disappears. It's a white circle with like a gray outline of a stick figure. That's still annoying. The fancy font, there's only certain fancy fonts that actually it'll recognize along with. It's getting better. It's getting better with the YouTube emojis that are unique to YouTube. Where it didn't used to recognize them, it would just show HTML like purple waving hand. Like, what the fuck? Purple waving hand. Okay. So if you type them multiple times, it would say purple waving hand, try it. Somebody go ahead and throw some YouTube emojis in the chat, and I'll go ahead and I'll highlight it for you, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Now on the StreamYard side, excuse me, the StreamYard side, it'll show. You'll actually see the purple waving hand or the peace sign. But on the YouTube side, however, you don't get to see it. It's just HTML code. So there it is. Now, thanks to this dude right here, who admits that, you know, I know I say this stuff because it annoys you. Okay, nothing annoys me on here. I just shake my head. I'm like, stupid. Same rerun comments or the trolls, the troll remarks that are made by the same people over and over again. It's always an echo chamber out here. Everyone's a comedian, right? Everyone's up at the mic and they're on stage and they're just regurgitating the same thing over and over again, right? That's all they do. That's literally all they do. Nothing new, nothing old, same old, same old. So, anyways, it starts to smell like mold. not so much gold. Anyways, that's about all I got. Unless anybody else wants to talk about anything else, I think I'm good. I didn't drop the panel link, and that's okay. I just kind of wanted to get on here and talk about whatever. And if you caught my live stream last night, you caught it. If you were hanging out like Lisa D's or Tonics or whoever it was live last night, each of those channels had about equal amount of people watching it at one point. It was like 60 people on his, 60 some people on hers. Total of 120, unless I'm sure some people were like watching both channels. So that's a lot. That's a fair amount of people. I think Lisa actually had over 100 something people watching her at some point. So it's just the crisscross of multi communities converging on one channel. Hebrew had that the other day when the shit show ended, and then everyone went to his channel. He at one point had like 50 or 60 something people watching him. You know, good for him. Whatever makes your channel grow, right? Whatever helps your channel, if that's what your ultimate goal is, that is how you do it. You network and what have you. Me, on the other hand, I just get out here to shoot the shit. I try to keep it laid back as I can. Just try to have fun. My channel never was intended to be another repeat shit show of any kind. That's not what it was intended for when it began. I shit you not. I shit you not. Boy, we came a long way, didn't we? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you all do. Anyway, that's all I got. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Did you have fun? I had fun. Let's see. I am going to find something to play. And then I'm going to end this live stream. And my insomnia will hopefully come to an end, and I'll be able to go to sleep. Sounds like fun, huh? Yeah, why not? I'm tired. I am tired. I gotta upload some more music to this thing. I do. I know I do. So anyway. Let me go ahead and give you a bittersweet ending to this solo stream. It wasn't really a solo stream, though. There's you guys in the chat. Those of you tuning in. You know, I've always liked the nightlife. You get a different vibe. Things seem to be a lot more winded down, more chill, the hustle and bustle of the daytime. Like when I used to watch like Art Bell, God rest his soul, on Coast to Coast AM. And some of the programs like him. There's old Bruce Williams, the financial guru, was on right before Art Bell on AM, on your AM dial. This is 20-something years ago. And these were some of the night shows, and you would just a lot more laid back. You get a whole different audience at night than you do during the day. A whole different crowd, and I've always enjoyed it. So unfortunately, you know, like my job has me up at 7 in the morning and rock and rolling at 2 in the afternoon sometimes, and sometimes both, and I just never know where I'm going to go. That's the understatement, believe it or not, of what makes me me, what drives me, my job, which I do have. Anyway, not to say I'm not grateful for having one, but anyway, the many stressors of life. Okay. And might you say that's the bittersweet symphony, which gives you a clue to this next closing song of just that. And with that, I will say good night, everyone. Oh, I didn't play my intro. It's a little late for that, isn't it? I think it is. So catch you later. Thanks for tuning in again. This is Honest Abe. See you when we see you. And with that, good night, everybody. Bye.